In this video, I'm going to show you how to create labor invoices for the client work that you kept track of using the time card. In AllProWebTools, it's possible to use the time card to keep track of client work and then create labor invoices based off of those time card entries. In order to do this, you'll need the Commerce package, which you can add by going to Settings and Web Tools. Go up and click the available Web Tools button, and then scroll down until you find the Commerce. Now you can go over and click Add. And now you have the Commerce Web Tool installed. To create a labor invoice, first you must have time card entries where you or your employees have clocked in under the client to do work. You can get to the time card by clicking on your username in the console and then clicking on Time Card. If you need more help using the time card, you can click the support button to view some videos on how to use it. When you're ready to create your invoice, we're going to go to Store and then View Orders. On this screen, there's a button that says Create Labor Invoices. I'm going to click on it, and this will bring me to the page where I actually create the invoices. The AllProWebTools console will automatically search through all your contacts and time card entries to find clients that have unbilled work. It's important to note that this date selector determines when your console is looking. So for example, I can go to the date selector and select last month. Now the console is looking for clients with unbilled work that was done in February. You can see there's nobody in the list, so there must be no clients with unbilled February work. If I go back to the date selector and instead select this month, now the console is looking for clients with unbilled March work. And you can see that I have one client, Eric, who has unbilled work that was done in March. Before I actually create this invoice, there are a few things I need to go over. First are these settings. You can select from this drop-down the default action for how your invoices are created. You can either create a completed order, or you can create a cart that you can edit and add items to. So if you find yourself wanting to double check your invoices or add materials and products other than the labor, I suggest selecting Create Cart for Invoices and clicking Save. You'll notice that this little Create Order was unchecked. When this is unchecked, you're going to create a cart instead of an order. You can also use Days to Invoice to automatically create labor invoices every month. So if I want to create labor invoices on the first of every month, I would simply select one and then click Add Day. But for now, I want to create my invoices manually. I can come over here to Create Invoices and check off Eric's name. And because Create Order is not checked, when I click on this Create Invoice button, it's going to create a cart with all the unbilled labor for Eric. However, before I click this button, I want to double check something. Because the labor invoices will automatically grab time card notes and put it on the invoice, I want to first double check the time card notes that my employees created. So I'm going to go on the menu to Reports and Users, and I'm going to go to Labor by Client. Here I can start typing in the name of my client, Eric, and select his contact. Now I can see a list of all the time card entries for Eric that happened in March. If you notice, one of my employees, John, put in some undescriptive time card notes. I'm going to want to edit these notes before I create my labor invoice. To edit these notes, I need to go into Reports, Users, and Labor Tracker Daily. But I'm going to right-click on it and select Open Link in New tab. That way I can keep this Labor by Client page open and reference it. So let's go to the Labor Tracker Daily. The first thing it needs is a date. So I'm going to go back to my Labor by Client and notice that John's time card entry was for March 23rd. So in the Labor Tracker Daily, I can select March 23rd for my date. Now luckily, John was the only person who clocked in on that day, so it's going to be easy to find those time card notes. To edit these notes, all I need to do is click on this pencil icon over here and type in my corrected version, and then click the check mark to save. Notice this does not change the original notes Eric wrote, but the corrected notes will be used on the labor invoice. So now I can go back to Store and View Orders, and click on Create Labor Invoices. And now I'm going to select Eric for the invoice I'd like to create. Because I changed my settings, it's already by default going to create a cart instead of an order, which means I'll be able to edit it after I create these invoices. Now if I click on the dashboard, you can see in the timeline that Eric has an abandoned cart. I can also go up to the top menu and search for Eric's contact record, and I'll see on his timeline that he also has an abandoned cart. From either timeline, I can click on this link to get to that cart, which is the labor invoice I just created. Notice John's time card notes were replaced with the edited version that I created. I can also come down into this cart and add more items as I need. When I finish editing this cart, just like any other order, I have to click on Calculate Shipping and Tax, select the appropriate shipping, and click Create Order. Now that my order is created, I can go up to Invoice Options and either print or email this invoice to the customer, and when I'm ready, I can click on Pay Order to collect payment.